Okay, question 6M3 from the second edition of Statistical Rethinking. And here we have 4 different DAGs, and in each of them, we are hoping to estimate the causal effect of X on Y. And so we need to analyze these DAGs and determine which variables we need to condition on in order to capture the causal effect of X on Y without confounding it by any, uh, by any, by any non-causal paths, okay, that happen to be open. So, so let's start here at the top left one, okay, and here's a table for it, okay, and my resulting regression, and so let's go through this. So the first path is X directly to Y, X directly to Y. This is a causal path, obviously. It's already open, so we don't want to do anything to it. We want to leave it open, and I'm just assuming that X is going to be, we're always going to condition on X because we want the effect of X on Y. Okay, so there's that. We have another path from X to Z to Y, but now Z is a fork affecting both X and Y, and so this is a non-causal path. It is currently open, and so in order to close this fork, we need to condition on Z. And then finally, we have X to Z to A to Y, all right? Again, non-causal, right, because we're going against these arrows. And so we need to, it's currently open, and so we need to close this path. And so to close this path, we can condition on either Z or A, okay? Now, when I consider everything all together, I know I need to, I can condition on Z and close both non-causal paths, okay? So that's what I need to condition on. And so altogether, my regression might look like y hat is an intercept plus x, right, plus z in order to close the non-causal path. Okay. Moving on to the second one on the top right here. So going through the paths again, we have x to y. That's causal. It's open, and I want to leave that open, so I'm not going to do anything to it. Now I have X to Z to Y. Now this is a causal path, right? Over here, X to Z to Y was not a causal path, but here it is because X causes Z and Z causes Y. So Z is acting as a mediator. This is a pipe structure from X to Z to Y. And I want to, it's causal, so I want it to be open. It's currently open, so I don't want to do anything to it. Okay. Now we have one more path that goes from X to Z to A to Y. And this is non-causal, right? Because all of a sudden we're moving against the arrow that goes from A to Z. But this is currently closed, and it's closed because Z is a collider on that path, and colliders start closed. The only way we could open it is to condition on Z, and we're not going to condition on Z, and we're not, right? If we condition on Z, not only would we close this non-causal path, we would incidentally open up a non-causal path from X to Z to A to Y. Okay, so here we're not conditioning on anything other than X, and so my regression would just include the X term. Okay. Bottom left here. Okay. Okay, so going through the paths again, we have X to Y as always. This is a causal path. It's open. I want to remain open. I won't do anything for it. I have X to Z to Y. And now Z is a collider, okay? So X to Z to Y is a non-causal path, and I want it to be closed, and currently it is closed. It's closed because Z is a collider between X and Y. So I don't need to do anything to close that path. It's already closed. Okay. Now finally, I have X to A to Z to Y, all right? So this is non-causal because we're working against the arrows. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm fighting a cold and I had a coughing attack there. Let me just start over on this non-causal path from X to A to Z to Y. So it's non-causal, and so we want to make sure that it's closed. But again, it's already closed because this path, as we go from A to Z to Y, Z is again a collider, but now between A and Y, right? So it's already closed, and we don't want to condition on Z. Again, if we condition on Z in this case, we open up these non-causal pathways, both from X to Z to Y, and x to a to z to y. Okay, so so there's nothing to condition on there, and so again our regression would look something like this. Okay, just having an x term. And let's see if I can get all of this on the screen. Not quite. So okay, bottom right here. Okay, looking at causal paths, or looking at the first path from x to y. Again, causal, it's currently open. We want it to remain open, and we're not going to do anything with that. Okay. The next path is x to z to y, and now this is causal, right? This is a causal path. It's currently open, and we want it to remain open. Right? And then the last path that we have here is x, a, z, y. All right. We want this to remain open, or I'm sorry, this is a non-causal path, so we want it to be closed. Okay, it's currently open, and so in order to close it, we need to condition on a here. Okay, and so now when I consider, so I'm gonna lose the DAG there. So this is the encapsulation of that DAG, and so in order to close all non-causal paths, I need to condition on a, and so my regression would look like this. So I have an alpha term plus my x term as always, and then I need to condition on a in order to close the non-causal path. All right, that is it for this one.